reactionary father-in-law, Archie Bunker. He went on to become an activist who championed causes his character would have liked, and he spent decades as the director of films, including When Harry Met Sally, The Princess Bride, This Is Spinal Tap, and A Few Good Men.
Reporter Steve Futterman joins us from outside Reiner's home in Los Angeles' Brentwood neighborhood. Steve, what do we know right now?
Well, we do know some basic facts. 2 bodies were found inside the home of Rob Reiner. LA police are not confirming the identities, but Variety and the LA Times have published a statement from the Reiner family announcing the death. Now, this area where I'm at right now, a few hundred feet from the home, has been cordoned off. Officers from the Homicide Division are conducting the investigation. It's been going on all night. Police did hold a sometimes confusing news conference here last evening. They confirmed that there were deaths, but not much else. This is Alan Hamilton. He's the LAPD Deputy Chief.
We will not be releasing any information regarding who was found deceased in the residence, because that will be done by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office.
Now, we are being told that the results of preliminary autopsies are expected to be released later today, and police say at that time they will be free to release many more specific details.
Okay, any suspects so far?
Well, speculation is rampant, but again, police are saying very little publicly. Here again, the Deputy Chief Hamilton, when he was asked about a suspect.
At this time, the Los Angeles Police Department is not seeking anyone as a suspect or as a person of interest or in any other manner, and we will not be doing that until we conduct our investigation and we move forward.
Now, obviously, in any homicide investigation, if police have no idea who committed the crime, they would be seeking a suspect or a person of interest. The fact that they are not right now does suggest that they may indeed know or suspect someone of committing the crime.
See, Rob Reiner was as LA and as Hollywood as it gets. What's been the reaction here?
Well, this has really sent shockwaves throughout the entertainment industry. Here in Hollywood, the estate of Norman Lear released a statement. Now, Lear played a key role in Reiner's career, choosing him to appear in the landmark sitcom All in the Family. Lear's estate said Norman often referred to Rob as a son. The world is unmistakably darker tonight. Reiner was also involved in politics, often supporting liberal causes, and former President Barack Obama issued a statement. He said, Rob's achievements in film and television gave us some of our most cherished stories on screen. And California Governor Gavin Newsom, who was a close friend of Reiner, said Rob was the big-hearted genius behind so many of the classic stories we love. He said Reiner will be remembered for his extraordinary contribution to humanity. Now, again, we do expect more information to come out later today.
That's reporter Steve Futterman, just 100 feet away from the Reiner home in Brentwood, California. Steve, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Abe.
And that's up first for Monday, December 15th. I'm Martinez.
And I'm Steve Inskeep. Your next listen can be Consider This from NPR News. Up first gives you 3 big stories of the day. Consider This drills down on 1. You can listen now on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Today's episode of Up First was edited by Rebecca Rossman, Alfredo Carvajal, Mateen McCullough, Lisa Thompson, and Arzu Rezvani. It was produced by Zia Butch, Nia Dumas, and Christopher Thomas. We get engineering support from Nisha Highness, and our technical director is Carly Strange. Join us again tomorrow.
Support for NPR and the following message come from Warby Parker, the one-stop shop for all your vision needs. They offer expertly crafted prescription eyewear, plus contacts, eye exams, and more. For everything you need to see, visit your nearest Warby Parker store or head to warbyparker.com. Support for NPR and the following message come from HomeServe. It never happens at a good time. The pipe bursts at midnight. The heater quits on the coldest night. Good thing HomeServe's hotline is available 24/7. Call to schedule a repair and the local pro will be on their way. Trusted by millions. For plans starting at $4.99 a month, go to homeserve.com. Not available everywhere. Most plans range between $4.99 to $11.99 a month your first year. Terms apply and covered repairs.
This message comes from Greenlight. Parents say financial literacy is the hardest life skill to teach. Greenlight's debit card and money app for families makes it easy for kids to learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. Start today, risk-free at greenlight.com. venguard.com/NPR. This message comes from Capital One. Say hello to stress-free subscription management. Easily track, block, or cancel recurring charges right from the Capital One mobile app. Simple as that. Learn more at CapitalOne.com/subscriptions. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Planet Money from NPR.
A couple of months ago, Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford Motor Company, took the stage at an event called the Aspen Ideas Festival. He was there to talk about the future of the economy and the importance of skilled trades, and as he sees it, something of a crisis.
Hiring an entry worker at a tech company has fallen 50% since 2019. Is that really where we want all of our kids to go?
And then Jim Farley kind of just drops in this huge prediction.
Artificial intelligence is going to replace literally half of all white-collar workers in the U.S.
Half of all white-collar workers. That is quite a pronouncement from the CEO of a major company. And Jim Farley's not the only executive talking in these dramatic terms about how AI might upend the economy as we know it. Like it could be a 21st century version of the Industrial Revolution. Hello, welcome to Planet Money. I'm Jerry Miles.
And I'm Waylon Wong. Normally, we're co-hosts over at Planet Money's daily podcast, The Indicator. But today, we're here to bring you true stories about how AI is changing hiring. Today on the show, we'll visit one slice of the job market where people are already feeling AI, the interview. AI is screening candidates. We'll test it out and check the data that suggests having an AI interview might not be all bad. But first, that big pronouncement. Will it get harder for white-collar job seekers to find entry-level work? What then? Stay tuned.
This message comes from Capital One with the Venture X card. Earn unlimited double miles, a $300 annual Capital One travel credit, and access to airport lounges. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. Details at CapitalOne.com.
This message comes from Vanguard. Capturing value in the bond market is not easy. That's why Vanguard offers a suite of over 80 institutional quality bond funds, actively managed by a 200-person global team of sector specialists, analysts, and traders. They're designed for financial advisors looking to give their clients consistent results year in and year out. See the record at Vanguard.com/audio. That's Vanguard.com/audio. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard Marketing Corporation, distributor.
When it comes to AI and the future of work, we've seen evidence that AI is doing what Ford CEO Jim Farley talked about. It's replacing jobs in fields like coding and customer service.
We've also seen how AI can help people be more productive or efficient at work. We did a recent episode where we heard from listeners who are using AI for manual or tedious tasks like writing emails and analyzing data.
This is a burgeoning area of research for economists like Laura Veldkamp. She's a professor at Columbia Business School, and the debate over whether AI is replacing or complementing jobs got her mental wheels turning.
I started thinking about the process of knowledge production, because AI doesn't produce cups and plates and goods, it produces knowledge. And so in thinking about the knowledge production process and how it was changing, I was looking to history to guide my thinking about, well, when else have we seen major changes in production processes? And it seemed like the Industrial Revolution was the most natural parallel.
The Industrial Revolution took more than a century to unfold and spanned multiple continents. It is really difficult, probably verging on irresponsible, to try to summarize such a large, complex era of human history, but that's what Josh Freeman is here for.
I'm a historian, and I study the history of labor and industry in particular.
If you had lived during this period of history, what job do you think you would want?
Well, I would like to be a rentier, where you didn't have to have a job. You just lived off the labor of your tenant farmers or the interest of your bonds. Early industrial work was mostly not pleasant.
Passive income is the dream, Darian.
Or at least so many emails are informing me in my spam folder.
Those are sent by AI. when you zoom out on the Industrial Revolution, you can see how it both improved and diminished human life on practically a cosmic scale.
If you look at England, which is usually considered the first place for the Industrial Revolution, in the mid-18th century, so 1750, the average life expectancy was less than 40 years. Today, it's around 80. So that's the most basic measure, and you've doubled. On the other hand, you and I and everyone else is facing a planetary crisis from the Industrial Revolution that may seriously impact the future of our species. So, in the biggest scale, you can see both the upsides and the downsides.
Of course, this increase in life expectancy was not a straightforward or linear path. People's health actually got worse as they moved into crowded, polluted cities and worked dangerous factory jobs. It took generations of organized labor activity, government regulation, and advancements in healthcare to change these conditions.
Ultimately, Josh says the Industrial Revolution redefined people's relationship with their home life, nature, even with their basic sense of time. And it's too early to know whether AI is upending human civilization in the same way.
But economists like Laura Veldkamp are trying to study AI-related changes in smaller doses. And they're doing this by zooming in on things they can measure. Laura set out to capture essentially how bosses and workers are splitting profits. There is a technical term for this. It's called the labor share of income.
So think about the money that a business makes. Some of that money comes back to workers in the form of wages, and that percentage is the labor share of income.
It both represents how important labor is in the output, what share of value it's adding, but it also represents what share of the income that labor should receive.
Laura says the labor share of income fell during the Industrial Revolution. This is because the adoption of new machines meant less human labor went into producing goods.
Laura wanted to know if this is happening with AI and today's knowledge workers. So she and a colleague studied workers in the financial sector. They picked that industry because it's been an early adopter of AI.
There is entry-level work that Laura thinks will require less human involvement over time, like maintaining databases. And then moving up the career ladder, AI is more of a complement than a substitute. For example, Laura says workers at financial firms are using AI to analyze data to make investment decisions.
And here's what Laura and her colleague found in their research. They predict that AI could lead to the labor share of income in
happening with AI today.
And Laura says it's not necessarily bad news for workers that they're getting a smaller slice of the pie. And that's because the overall pie is getting bigger.
We find that a worker who has AI skills in the financial sector is making about $22,000 a year more than somebody who doesn't. So they may be getting a smaller slice of the pie at their firm, but their firm's likely to be much more profitable. And so as a result, that smaller slice is still more take-home pay.
A smaller slice of a bigger pie. So this gets us into big questions about fairness, like how should workers and corporations split profits? Laura says the Industrial Revolution offers lessons here too.
What we saw in the Industrial Revolution is that there were a few firms that adopted these new technologies and became monopolists. This was the era of robber barons, right? And the, great capitalists, and they were insanely rich at a time when most people were desperately poor. And so I think there's a risk that we could follow the same path here, where there are early adopters that become monopolists and have an enormous amount of market power and squeeze us as consumers and us as workers to get most of the rents.
Concerns about a small group of companies controlling those rents, or, the AI pie, are on Josh Freeman's mind too. He points out that in the US, there used to be lots of automakers and steel makers and airplane manufacturers. These industries got concentrated over multiple decades. Josh says, so far, AI seems to be different.
We're starting from extreme concentration. That's the way it's beginning. So that is a somewhat different dynamic. It's kind of monopolized from the get-go. And will that shape the way this unfolds across the society and who benefits? Those are still very open questions.
Open questions that Laura says policymakers and regulators will have to grapple with. If AI is going to make all those companies more productive and wealthy, how should those spoils be divvied up?
And if the Industrial Revolution is any guide, figuring out how to share this pie could take generations of struggle between government regulators, bosses, and workers.
And computers.
Oh, I forgot about the computers.
Yes, they're waiting in the wings. Do not cut them out.
After the break, my colleague Adrienne Ma is going to speak with Anna. She's a recruiter whose job has been totally upended by AI. In fact, she doesn't know what her job was like before AI at all.
Hello? Hi, Adrienne. This is Anna, the AI recruiter from TP, calling to discuss the customer.
This message comes from LinkedIn ads. One of the hardest parts about B2B marketing is reaching the right audience. That's why you need LinkedIn ads. You can target your buyers by job title, company, role, seniority, and skills. All the professionals you need to reach in one place. Get a $250 credit on your next campaign so you can try it yourself. Just go to linkedin.com/NPRpod. That's linkedin.com/NPRPOD. Terms and conditions apply. Only on LinkedIn ads. This message comes from Apollo Global Management, who believes the global industrial renaissance is transforming the world. Over the next decade, industries like energy, infrastructure, and technology will need an estimated $75 to $100 trillion to modernize and meet demand. Long-term projects need long-duration capital. That's where Apollo steps in. With scale, flexibility, and a focus on growth, they're partnering with companies to drive the future, one innovation at a time. Learn more at thinkitnew.com/renaissance. This message comes from Capital One. Say hello to stress-free subscription management. Easily track, block, or cancel recurring charges right from the Capital One mobile app. Simple as that. Learn more at CapitalOne.com/subscriptions. Terms and conditions apply.
PSG Global Solutions is a company that specializes in recruiting. A company you might call if you need to hire a lot of, say, call center agents, or warehouse workers, or nurses, but don't have a lot of time.
David Koch works for PSG, where his title it's a very fancy one, Chief of Transformation and Innovation. Though, funnily enough, his metaphor for recruiting is a very analog piece of technology, a funnel, and it's like a leaky funnel at that.
The funnel is essentially a number of candidates going in, a number of candidates actually being placed, right? And every step of the way, every step in the process, you lose people.
So typically, PSG posts a job online, a bunch of people apply, and the ones that seem promising are contacted by a recruiter for an interview. David says this is where the funnel starts to leak.
It's one thing attracting talent, and it's one thing identifying talent. The next step is you have to get them on the phone.
And the more time that passes after a candidate applies, the harder that is. David says if a recruiter calls an applicant within 1 minute of applying, there's an 85% chance of them actually connecting. But if just 15 minutes go by, that connect rate drops to just 35%.
And that's why recruiters end up spending hours a day just dialing and redialing the same numbers.
The amount of time they're spending just trying to connect and how much they actually talk to someone is crazy. And then those that are connecting to very often are like, I'm not interested.
I feel like if David were an actor in one of these made-for-TV infomercials, this is the part where he would look directly into the camera distraught and he would say, there's gotta be a better way!
Yeah, and so what did they end up doing? They brought in a robot, of course.
Hello? Hi, Adrienne. This is Anna, the AI recruiter from TP, calling to discuss the customer service representative role you recently applied for. Is this a good time to talk?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Just a quick heads up.
So this is their AI interview bot that they developed called Anna. And to show me how it worked, they had Anna interview me for a call center job.
Can you describe a situation where you had to manage multiple competing demands while handling a customer call?
Are you talking about, like, multitasking?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm referring to.
Nice one, Adrian, stalling for time.
Thank you. I handled it just like a real interview.
Because I'm often interviewing or having conversations with
That's
people.
I'm listening. Please go on. How do you handle multiple tasks or
Yeah,
It
and
sounds like
sometimes things come up in the conversation where
It's going pretty well, don't you think?
I think so.
Could you think of any advice you might give to someone who is just starting out in this role?
I guess I would say try to imagine yourself in the other person's shoes and have some empathy for what a person might be going through when they call.
That's a great approach. Having empathy for the customer's situation can go a long way in providing excellent service.
Yeah, so I'm not feeling great about making it to the next round. To be honest.
No, I thought that was a good answer. Anna said it was a good answer.
Nailed it.
A plus. So PSG Global has this new technology, and the problem was they didn't have the data to prove Anna could do the job as well as a human. So they turned to an economist at the University of Chicago named Brian Jabarian.
Yeah, and coincidentally, Brian had been looking for a company just like this, like one that was trying to use AI at a broad scale and, importantly, willing to give him access to detailed data on how it was going.
It took me 3 to 4 years, basically, in total, to find a firm willing to partner with me.
Were there any companies that just like laughed in your face when you approached them with this idea?
Well, most of them even didn't reply.
But then PSG said yes, because it really wanted to know what effect Anna would have on the recruiting process.
To test these questions, Brian devised an experiment where job candidates were split into 3 randomly assigned groups. The first group would go through the normal interview process with a human. The second would be assigned to an interview with Anna. And the third would be given a choice, human or AI, whatever they preferred. Now, importantly for all the job applicants, a human recruiter would still review the transcript or the audio from the interviews and make the actual decision of whether or not to offer a job.
Brian's hypothesis was that Anna would not do as well as a human. And you can imagine why, right? Like, who among us actually enjoys calling up a business just to get that automated voice that is like, why don't you read me a 16-digit number? And I'll, and then you're just like, operator.
And yet, Brian says after running this experiment on some 70,000 interviewees,
it was quite shocking or like surprising, which is when given choice, 78% of candidates choose to be interviewed by an AI voice agent.
Given a choice, 78% of people chose AI. Who would have thunk?
I was also very surprised to hear this. And one explanation seems to be that people felt that AI would be, for lack of a better term, less judgy. And in fact, Brian says job applicants who interviewed with Anna were about half as likely to report feeling discriminated against based on their gender compared to those who interviewed with a human. And interestingly, women were also more likely than men to choose the AI over the human interview.
But the surprises went even further. Brian also found that people who went through the AI interview process were 12% more likely to get a job offer and about 18% more likely to start and stay in the job for at least a month. So it seems like Anna was better at interviewing than the human recruiters. Of course, the next obvious question is why? Brian says when he analyzed the interviews, he noticed some patterns that people who got interviews tended to display certain, what he calls, linguistic features.
If you display a lot of like interactivity, you have a lot of back and forth, or you display a high level of vocabulary richness, you increase your chances of getting a job offer.
On the flip side, if a candidate used a lot of so-called back-channel cues, like that decreased their chance of getting an offer. And here's the kicker. Candidates interviewed by Anna did better on all these measures compared to those interviewed by a human.
Okay, so putting this all together, it's almost like Anna allowed people to be better versions of themselves. And Brian says the psychological aspect of all this is definitely worth more study.
And as for the company, PSG, you can imagine that having a recruiter that can work 24 hours a day and be infinitely replicated, that is seemingly less prone to human bias and pretty good at its job to boot, is a big freaking deal. And you would be right. David Koch at PSG says they plan to roll Anna out in 80 countries and use it to recruit for a lot of different kinds of jobs. And while it will definitely mean the company hires fewer human recruiters, David says the ones who remain will get to spend more time on analytical tasks. And a lot less time just dialing numbers.
The role of the recruiter is changing, and I think it's a positive change. It's going to get more difficult, but it becomes a much more meaningful job, I think.
By the way, David says there are dozens of competitor companies developing technology like Anna. So maybe sooner than we think, robots will be interviewing us for jobs.
You know, there's been all this talk about how AI is too sycophantic.
Yeah, it's always sucking up.
But I feel like now we have to study up on how to suck up to machines.
Oh no. We have maybe a few more years left where you, dear human listener, still have agency and can make your voice heard. That's right, it's the people's choice. NPR is having our listeners vote on the best podcast. So whether it's Planet Money or The Indicator, just help one of us be a through line, please. Vote for us at npr.org/peopleschoice. There's a link in the show notes. Today's episode comes to you from Planet Money's daily podcast, The Indicator. Check it out if you don't already subscribe. The original stories were produced by Cooper Katz-McKim and engineered by Robert Rodriguez and Debbie Daughtry. They were fact-checked by Sierra Juarez. They were edited by Patty Hirsch and Kate Buchanan. I'm Waylon Wong. This is NPR. Thanks for listening.
This message comes from Greenlight. Parents say financial literacy is the hardest life skill to teach. Greenlight's debit card and money app for families makes it easy for kids to learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. Start today, risk-free at greenlight.com/NPR. This message comes from Babson College. Ever notice how one idea can change an entire market? At Babson College, graduate students learn to turn bold ideas into real-world impact, whether launching a startup or rethinking business as usual. In Babson's MBA and specialized master's programs, you'll gain the skills and experience to lead change. Ranked #1 in entrepreneurship, Babson is shaping leaders who don't just study the economy, they build it. More at babson.edu/grad school. This message comes from Capital One. Capital One offers checking accounts with no fees or minimums. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC. This message comes from Capital One. Say hello to stress-free subscription management. Easily track, block, or cancel recurring charges right from the Capital One mobile app. Simple as that. Learn more at CapitalOne.com/subscriptions. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Planet Money from NPR.
Hey, Kenny Malone here, interrupting to some degree your regularly scheduled Planet Money programming, because what we have today is a special episode. It's a sample of one of our recent bonus episodes. You could think of this as a fun little holiday treat made up of some economic insights and sprinkles of pop culture nostalgia and everyone's favorite holiday time competition, a little good-natured elbowing between Planet Money hosts. But look, this is the kind of bonus content that you can get when you join Planet Money Plus. If you're already signed up, thank you, truly. But if you haven't joined, here is how you can get more content like this. Just check out the link below in the episode notes. And with that, here you go. Enjoy. Here, dear listener, Planet Money Plus listener, is a short list of movies that came out in the year 1999. All kinds of movies that people still talk about today. We're talking The Matrix.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us.
The Sixth Sense.
I want to tell you a secret now.
The Blair Witch Project. Fight Club.
You do not talk about Fight Club.
The fame thing isn't really real.
Notting Hill. Star Wars The Phantom Menace.
Now this is pod racing.
Being John Malkovich.
Malkovich!
1999 is widely considered to be one of the best, possibly the best year ever for movies. But, was 1999 also the greatest year in economic movies and pop culture? That's what we're here to settle today. Hello and welcome, Planet Money Plus listeners, to the first inaugural Planet Money Pop Culture Draft. Joining me today on draft day are my colleagues Jeff Blow and Waylon Wong. Are you ready for this, Waylon and Jeff? we are trying something new for us in today's bonus episode. We're going to go back to the year 1999, and each of us is going to draft a team of pop culture, like you know how an NBA team drafts players. We're going to be doing this with a Planet Money lens, though. Who can draft the most Planet Money team of pop culture artifacts from the year 1999? Now, what does it mean to draft a Planet Money team? Well, that is kind of for each of us to argue in our case. Like, have we drafted a movie that is obviously about economics? Or maybe we've drafted a song that is emblematic of a much bigger business trend. Each of us will have to make our cases to each other, but more importantly, to you, Planet Money Plus listeners, and you will ultimately decide. You will vote on which of us has assembled the ultimate Planet Money 1999 pop culture team.
This is the sportiest I've ever been. I've never done such a sports adjacent thing.
Kenny, I have to say, this is like the third time you've tried to explain the rules to me, and I still don't get what we're doing here.
Well, we have tried to explain the rules to Jeff a lot, and luckily we're going to do it
I have so
again.
many questions.
I feel like this is Jeff being purposefully naive so he can wipe the floor with us.
I know.
And I'm
This
suspicious.
strategy is beginning.
I just want to understand the rules. You can't play the game.
No, the mind games
Understand the
have
rules.
started long before we hit record today, I will say.
Let's get the rules out of the way then. In case any of you listeners have not heard a podcast using the draft format, we did not invent this. This is a widely used thing. It's kind of a way to like dive back into a specific year and look for specific stories, revel in the nostalgia a little bit, but also, you know, go deep and compete with each other in a loving, friendly way. No hitting, no biting, just making sure those rules are clear. That is rule number 1. Do we understand? Silence, I'm gonna take a seat. Okay, great. Here are the basic rules of the draft. All right, so the draft is made up of 3 rounds. And over the course of those 3 rounds, in any order you want, you must select. Exciting things that are obvious, you probably want to choose those first because someone else might get them. And then there are limitations. So for the movie, we each have to choose from the top 100 domestic grossing movies in 1999. These are movies that I suspect a lot of people will have heard of. We've mentioned some already. You got your Star Wars, you got your Matrix, you got your Fight Club, and then 97 more. For songs, we can only pick from the Billboard Hot 100 Singles of the Year. And just to give listeners a taste, let me put on my Casey Kasem hat here. Counting down the top 5 Hot 100 songs from 1999. Baby One More Time, Britney Spears. Number 4, Heartbreak Hotel, Whitney Houston and collaborators. Number 3, Angel of Mine by Monica. Number 2, No Scrubs by TLC. And the number 1 song on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1999. Believe by Cher.
I have such a clear memory of this from that time period and just how it played absolutely everywhere.
It was everywhere. Okay, so that's movie, song, and then wild card again. Is anything. Like it can be a book, it can be a TV show, it could be another movie, another song. It just needs to be pop culture in 1999 and it needs to be Planet Money in some way, shape, or form. Okay.
Can it be an object? Or like,
well, you better make the argument that it's pop culture. If you're
We'll
gonna do that.
be the judge of that.
A
We'll
child?
be the judge of that.
Jeff, if you want to draft a child, we're going to have a conversation about how that will work. But listen,
check with legal.
do you mostly understand those basic rules? I know we haven't done this. I'll test you. Do you basically get that?
We're gonna pick things.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
what I heard. Okay.
Great.
I cannot wait to see what Jeff's picks are. Because I'm like, did you come into this
This is not
totally
my
cold?
culture.
Because that's
No, look, guys, I barely had a childhood, so I don't even remember 1999, to be honest. Like, it was before I was reconstituted.
Jeff was already
from
in
the
law
vat.
school.
Before you
Didn't
were
even
reconstituted, you said?
Yeah.
You were conceived in powder form or something?
Yeah. So I wasn't even like fully hydrated at that point.
Instaglow, pour, and mix.
But can I just ask how old were you all? Are we allowed to say this? Is this like not
Yeah,
not
sure,
kosher?
sure.
Like what? Like I just want to get a sense of where you all were in your lives in 1999.
Yes. In 1999, I would have been 15 years old.
Okay.
I was not allowed to see rated R movies yet. I was very excited to see the new Star Wars movie. I had bought all of the Darth Maul action figures ahead of time, and that's kind of where I was. I definitely was hearing Cher.
What about you, Layla?
I was 17. I was a senior in high school. So I remember playing that Britney Spears album on a girls' road trip to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And so I remember that very clearly. I was watching Total Request Live on MTV every day after school. And I remember also I was in my community youth orchestra, and we got to play Star Wars for my senior year spring concert, like the original music, and that was so much fun.
Not Duel of the Fates.
Not Duel of the Fates, but
absolute drop dead banger from Vince.
yes, but like the main title theme and Imperial March and everything, and so that was like a real kind of career highlight for my high school music career.
Sounds like both Waylon and I were super cool.
I gotta say, this is giving me a lot of insight into what your potential picks might be. Very helpful information, guys. Thank you very much.
This is an elaborate mislead, Jeff. You don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know.
This is some Jeff. All right, Jeff, where were you in 1999? Share.
Share, I believe.
I was 10. I don't know. I honestly have no memory of being 10. I don't know where I was. I was in school.
Were you learning fractions? I feel like I learned fractions at 10.
I don't remember. I truly don't remember.
Did you read?
Jeff was learning what fraction of a single star to give Star Wars fans. All right, so Jeff was 10, and we were all super cool. I think that's what we just learned. Before we can draft, we do need an order to the draft. Our producer Viet Le is going to jump in now and give us the draft order. This feels very high stakes to me.
No whammies yet.
Can you see the screen?
Nope.
Or
No
not
screen.
see the screen?
Nope.
Let's see. Here we go. Okay.
All right, Viet's pulled up a very fun color wheel.
Right.
So we have all of our names on this wheel. This will determine the draft order. This is going to make or break my strategy. So let's see how this goes.
I'm so nervous. Oh my god.
All right. I'm gonna first spin of the wheel. Let's see.
No! Waylon! That's my worst fear. That is my worst fear. Okay, Waylon is the first pick. Okay, next spin.
Okay.
Now we're just left with Kenny and Jeff.
50-50.
Okay.
Oh, Kenny!
No. Yes. Okay. All right. Kenny is next, and then Jeff is third. And just to be clear, a traditional way to do the order is it will go Waylon, then Kenny, then Jeff, then Jeff, then Kenny, then Waylon. It sort of snakes back and forth so that even though Jeff is last, you get to make 2 picks in a row so that you are not perpetually last, okay? Okay. So, with all of that out of the way, do you have any final questions before Waylon Wong makes the first draft of the first ever Planet Money pop culture draft?
Let's do it.
No, I'm ready.
Waylon.
My body is ready. My mind is ready.
You're up. You're on the clock.
Okay, I'm gonna draft a movie first, and I'm gonna draft a movie. You're breathing a sigh over.
No, I'm not. This is my fear.
And I'm drafting a movie first because my favorite movie of all time came out in 1999, and it is on the list of the top 100 domestic grossing movies. It is The Insider, directed by Michael Mann. And this is, I will admit, kind of an obvious choice because it's very clearly about business, but it is my favorite movie of all time. For those of you who don't know, this is a journalism movie. Russell Crowe plays a research chemist at a tobacco company. This is based on a true story. He is a corporate whistleblower, or he becomes a corporate whistleblower, and he goes and gives an interview to 60 Minutes about how the tobacco company he works for knowingly added chemicals to cigarettes that were carcinogenic or addictive. And what's interesting to me about this, and why I've been thinking about it actually a lot recently, is because at that time, CBS pulled the interview from 60 Minutes because it was afraid of a lawsuit from the tobacco company, and they were afraid that the lawsuit would tank the impending sale of CBS to Westinghouse. So this is actually it's like everything old is new again because we now, with the Colbert Show and the Skydance deal, we have CBS seemingly caving once again in the face of corporate pressures, and it's dramatized really well in The Insider. And there's one of my favorite scenes from any movie of all time, which is Christopher Plummer, R.I.P., as Mike Wallace, the anchor of 60 Minutes, and he reads the CBS corporate lawyer, the Riot Act, because he's so mad.
Mike, try Mr. Wallace. We work in the same corporation doesn't mean we work in the same profession. What are you going to do now? You're going to finesse me, lawyer me some more? I've been in this profession 50 years. You and the people you work for are destroying the most respected, the highest rated, the most profitable show on this network.
Every once in a while, I just like to yell this at my husband. Lawyer me? Are you gonna finesse me? It's like so good. And anyway, I'm obsessed with this movie. Bonus thing I will say is that Lowell Bergman, as played by Al Pacino, has this line I love, which I think about also all the time as a journalist, where he says to a source on the phone, he's like, I'm two things. He's like, I'm mad and I'm curious. And he's like getting really annoyed with the story. So I think about that all the time because I don't get mad that often, but I am actually kind of this like seething like pot of rage. But like, it's like, yeah, if you get mad and you get curious, that's actually a very potent recipe for doing some journalism. That's what happens in this movie, my favorite movie, The Insider.
I'm passive aggressive and I'm curious. Don't worry about it. All right, Waylon Wong selects The Insider, starring Russell Crowe and Al Pacino. I am hugely relieved I'm up next because what seemed to me to be the obvious pick for Waylon is the movie that terrified me so much that I would not go camping, and it is The Blair Witch Project.
This was like my second choice.
I was really worried.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, The Blair Witch Project is, of course, a movie that is shot on really cheap cameras, and we are witnessing the recovered tapes from these, I believe, 3 kids who went hunting for an urban legend witch. They disappear, and it's way scarier than it has any right to be.
Very metactual.
There's a famous shot with heavy breathing and snot dripping down the lead actor's nose.
It's not because I made it. We're here now. Hungry, cold, and hunted.
And the reason that this is just to me slam dunk Planet Money pick is because A, this is still one of the most profitable movies ever made. You'll see different numbers on this, but it was maybe cost between $30K and $70K to shoot it, and then there was a really viral.
You need to know how many Ethernet connections you need to provide in your home network. One thing to keep in mind here is that your router will have Ethernet switches on the back, and this factors into your calculation. You can use these ports for connecting devices to the internet with an Ethernet cable. You can also use the ports on your switch, but one thing you need to keep in mind is that one port on your switch and one port on your router will be used to connect these 2 devices together. So if you buy a 5-port switch, just keep in mind that it's really only adding 4 Ethernet ports to your home network. As a general rule of thumb here, most users will get away with a 5-port or 8-port Ethernet switch, but do your own inventory of your home network before making that decision. While you're making a decision about how many Ethernet ports your switch needs, it's also important to consider what your home network looks like. Depending upon the configuration and the layout of the devices in your home network, this can impact your decisions when making an Ethernet switch. Let's talk about what I mean here. Okay, here in this example, all your devices are close to your router. Maybe you just need one Ethernet switch with a bunch of ports so you can provide all these devices with an Ethernet connection. But what if, let's go into this next scenario here, what if you have a cluster of devices that are far away from your router? Maybe you want to just connect these devices to a switch. These devices connect to your router, and that's all you need. And maybe in that case, you only need a 5-port switch to meet your needs. Lastly, let's look at this scenario. What if you have 2 clusters of devices that are far away from your router? Maybe in this scenario, you're better off getting 2 5-port switches, so you can connect the devices in one cluster to a switch. You can connect the other devices in the other cluster to the other switch. And then you only need 2 Ethernet cables going between your switches and your router. This will simplify things from an Ethernet cable management standpoint, and this will allow all your devices to connect to the internet with an Ethernet connection. The next question to answer is, what internet activities will the devices that are connected to your switch be performing? The reason this is important is because there are 2 different types of bandwidths that are supported by switches. Switches can either come with gigabit per second Ethernet ports, or they can come with Ethernet ports supporting 100 megabits per second. Obviously, if you're connecting Internet of Things devices or devices that don't really require a lot of bandwidth, you can get away with a switch that provides 100 megabit per second Ethernet ports. But honestly, 99% of the time, I would recommend you get gigabit per second Ethernet ports. That way you're ensuring your switch isn't serving as a bottleneck for your home network, and that no matter what internet activities your devices are performing, you won't have anything to worry about. The reason that I mentioned these 100 megabit per second Ethernet switches in the first place is just because they're dirt cheap when compared to these gigabit Ethernet switches. I'm not talking about a ton of money here. You can probably get a gigabit Ethernet switch for around $20, and maybe you can get a 100 megabit per second Ethernet switch for $5. So there's a little bit of difference there, but honestly, it's a low cost for a gigabit Ethernet switch anyway, so you should probably err on the side of caution and just make sure you have enough bandwidth for your devices. The next question to answer here is, how much configuration and administration do you want to be able to perform with your Ethernet switch? A lot of people just want plug and play. They just want to plug it in and have it work. In these cases, you want an unmanaged switch. When it comes to the other side of the coin, you want some administration. You want to be able to set quality of service settings. You want to be able to separate devices into different virtual networks. Those require managed switches. They're a little more complex. You need to log into them and change the settings, much like you would a router. You also need to periodically update their firmware. And you usually find these in business settings or more complex home networks. Most people can get away with an unmanaged switch, and it's the least amount of overhead from an administrative standpoint. The third type of switch here, aside from managed and unmanaged switches, is a PoE switch, or Power over Ethernet. These switches are useful when you have devices that you need to require power through Ethernet cables. For example, security cameras, wireless access points. Some of these devices allow you to provide power to them through Ethernet cables. If this is the case and you have these types of devices in your home network, you can get a PoE switch. Keep in mind too that you can use a Power over Ethernet switch as a regular switch. It doesn't need to be providing power to devices. But keep in mind that these PoE switches are more expensive. So if you don't have these types of devices in your home network, you're better off just getting an unmanaged switch. So which Ethernet switch should you buy? Unfortunately, I'm going to give you a little bit of a letdown here. I don't have a silver bullet solution for you, and that's because there are different switches for different needs in different home networks. Depending upon how you answered the questions that we previously talked about, that will determine exactly what type of switch to get. I will tell you that you're better off going with well-known manufacturers. For example, if you get a switch made by Netgear or TP-Link, you're in pretty good shape. Most switches, especially the unmanaged ones, they're very simple devices. They're not really complex, so these well-known manufacturers know exactly what they're doing. They have a lot of experience with that. Also, if you're getting a power over Ethernet or a managed switch, I wouldn't give you any different device, honestly. Just use a manufacturer, TP-Link, or Netgear, and you'll be in pretty good shape. I'll provide some suggestions down below just as examples if you need a 5-port switch, an 8-port switch, a PoE switch, a managed switch. I'll provide examples to get you started, but chances are, again, depending how you answer those questions that we previously went through, that will help you determine exactly what you need. Okay, fine. If you're looking for a recommendation,
Soon we'll be telling the whole stadium how Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance to save people hundreds.
Have you ever went out to make a simple car repair and then you ran into a whole bunch of rust, causing that process to take about twice as long as it should? I think all of us have been there, and the question is, does anti-seize really work? We're going to be testing 3 different types of anti-seize. Additionally, we're going to see if just plain bearing grease works just as well as anti-seize. And finally, what about just using a candle? Some viewers say that a candle works just as well as these other options. So let's get the testing underway and see which option works the best. In the first test, we'll apply these products to some bolts and then do some testing on them after 3 months of exposure to a highly corrosive rusting agent. We'll apply each product to some steel to see which products actually block corrosion from beginning. We'll simulate water spray-off conditions your vehicle will likely experience to see how well these products resist being washed away. The testing will culminate in a capstone event where we use anti-seize as an engine oil substitute, and we'll see if this innovative approach could serve as a permanent protection against engine seizure. We're doing some testing on these 1/2-inch wheel stud lugs, which are welded into position. The zinc coating has been removed from all the nuts and bolts. At this point, these fasteners don't have very much, if any, rust on them. However, the second set of nuts and bolts has begun rusting, so we're applying these anti-seize products to 2 of these bolts to see if they can block the rust from continuing. Costing $5.93 is this Permatex aluminum anti-seize lubricant. This product claims to be able to handle heat up to 1600 degrees Fahrenheit, enables parts to be removed easily when exposed to corrosive condition or extreme heat. Costing up to 16, this Permatex aluminum anti-seize lubricant. This product claims to be able to handle heat up to 1600 degrees Fahrenheit, enables parts to be removed easily when exposed to corrosive condition or extreme heat. Costing $13.78, which is more than twice as much as the Permatex, is this Loctite C5A copper-based anti-seize lubricant. Protects metal parts from corrosion and seizure up to 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. This product does have an expiration date and is supposed to be used by 2023. The Nickelgraph anti-seize costs $7.29 for just 2 ounces. It is a high-temperature anti-seize product, but there's no information on the packaging regarding the maximum temperature. The Lubrimatic high-temperature grease was only $6.50 for 16 ounces, so this was about half the price of using an anti-seize compound. It'll be interesting to see if this candle wax can work just as well as high-temperature grease or the anti-seize compounds. Now, fluid film is known as a penetrant and lubricant, but much better known as a rust and corrosion protector. It claims to protect all metals. It's lanolin-based. The nice thing about fluid film is you don't have to have the surface perfectly clean. It claims you can apply this product to tightly adhering rust. The final 4 bolts will be our control, and we won't apply anything at all to the threads. I'm going to torque each one of these to 90 foot-pounds. It's time to expose this test set to a whole lot of oxidation as well as heat. The ability of anti-seize products to handle heat is pretty important, so we're going to go ahead and put our test set inside this grill and cook it for right at 1 hour. Looks like the steel inside should be around 550 degrees Fahrenheit. When engine parts or brake components get hot in the wintertime and they come across salt brine, there's a lot of oxidation that occurs. In order to simulate that process, I'm going to take this hot steel out, set it down on this piece of metal, and then spray it down with the oxidizing agent and cool it down. that didn't take long. Look at all that rust. Which products actually sealed out the oxidizer and kept the threads from becoming rusty. And we'll be back in about 3 or 4 months. I've been applying the rusting agent for the last 90 days, so let's get the testing underway and see how much torque it takes to break each one of these bolts free. We'll be testing a total of 4 bolts each. 2 bolts that started off without any rust and 2 that had minor rust on them. The nuts were torqued to 90 foot-pounds and then experienced a pretty intense heat cycle over 500 degrees. So breakaway torque should be less than 90 foot-pounds if these products completely block corrosion. Permatex aluminum did great on the first sample at 77.7 foot-pounds. The second was even better at 73. Testing Loctite copper next. Loctite did even better than Permatex on the first sample at only 68.1. The second sample was nearly as good at 71.3, so Loctite takes the lead from Permatex. Nickel Graph didn't do quite as well as Permatex or Loctite on the first sample at 78.2. The second sample required slightly more torque at 80, so Loctite holds on to the lead. The Lubrimatic high temperature grease didn't do quite as well as any of the other anti-seize compounds at 82.6, but that's actually still pretty good. The second sample required quite a bit more torque at 102.6. The alarm on the torque adapter sounded just as the candle wax nut began to move at 151.7 on the first sample. I stopped the test when the alarm sounded on the second candle wax sample and switched to a larger torque adapter. The second nut broke free at 142.7. The first fluid film sample broke loose at 111.3. The second one took quite a bit more torque at 131.5. The control bolt didn't have anything applied and required 124.1 on the first sample. It was down quite a bit to 96.5 on the second. For the bolts that started off slightly rusty, once again Permatex did a terrific job at 74.8. The second sample took slightly more torque at 85.2. Loctite required 76.1 on the first sample. The second sample required slightly more torque at 80.1. So once again, Loctite did slightly better than Permatex. Nickel Graph needed 81.9 on the first sample. The second sample required 87.3, so Loctite remains in the lead. The high temperature grease required 97.5 on the first sample. The second sample required slightly more torque at 102.7. Once again, candle wax really struggled at 138.6 on the first. Second sample was slightly better at 123. Fluid film needed 128.6 on the first sample. The second sample took slightly less torque at 125.9. The control required 109.5 on the first sample. The second required quite a bit more torque at 123.6. All 3 anti-seize products did a terrific job with Loctite copper only requiring 73.9 foot-pounds on average, Permatex aluminum 77.7, Nickel Graph 81.9, and grease 96.4. Fluid film has done a terrific job in past testing as a surface corrosion blocker. However, it's not advertised as an anti-seize compound, and it didn't do quite as well as the control. And finally, candle wax really struggled. After removing most of the rust from the threads in each bolt, I'll remove the nuts and we'll take a close look at the threads for visible signs of corrosion. The Permatex aluminum anti-seize did a very good job, no visible rust. Since Loctite is a goldish brown color, it's really hard to tell whether or not there's any rust, but based upon the test results, it did an amazing job preventing it from becoming stuck. There doesn't appear to be any rust on the threads with Nickel Graph. Grease actually did a fairly good job. That's a high temperature grease that we used, and it actually held up fairly well. Unfortunately, it took a lot of torque to break loose the bolt treated with wax. It just didn't do a very good job of preventing rust. In fact, there's quite a bit of rust on these threads. The numbers weren't as good for fluid film as some of the other products. As you can see on our control, there's a lot of rust on the threads of the bolt. As we saw in the first set of bolts, the Permatex, Loctite, Nickel Graph, and grease all seem to do a fairly good job. Wax really struggled. There's a visible presence of fluid film on the threads. Control has a lot of rust on it. In the next test, we'll be applying each of these products in this mild steel and then applying a rusting agent to see just how well these products resist corrosion. Anti-seize compounds act like lubricants, which is something to consider when applying torque. Dry threads will have more friction during the torque process and normally require much more torque to achieve the same clamp load as a lubricated fastener. There are quite a few things to consider when selecting an anti-seize compound. Aluminum and copper-based anti-seize just don't get along too well. Copper can cause galvanic corrosion on the aluminum. However, aluminum-based anti-seize should be fully compatible with aluminum applications. Nickel-based anti-seize can cause skin irritation and trigger other types of issues. I'll be spraying on some hydrogen peroxide, vinegar, and salt mix, which is highly corrosive. We'll see just how well these products do at blocking corrosion. It's only been about 30 seconds and there's already corrosion forming on the control. When it comes to an anti-seize, you definitely want a product that's not going to wash away easily when sprayed with water. In the next test, I'll apply anti-seize to this metal plate and then apply 30 pounds of direct water pressure for 1 minute. The water temperature is going to be around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Permatex aluminum anti-seize did a very good job. In the very center of the plate, you can see where some of it has washed away from the steel, and that would likely rust over time. However, this is a pretty grueling test for any of these products. Up next, we'll be testing the Loctite copper-based lubricant. Permatex aluminum seems to have done a better job than the Loctite copper. Quite a bit of the anti-seize washed away in the very center of the metal. The diameter of the grease spread is a lot smaller than the Permatex and the Loctite, so this nickel graph has done a great job. There's a small area in the very center where some of this nickel graph has washed away from the steel and will likely rust. Lubrimatic grease next. Water really washed away a lot of this brake grease. In the very center is an area of metal that's totally exposed without any sort of layer of grease on it. Just inside the rest of the crater though, it is a very thin layer of grease. It's been about 5 hours since I began applying the rusting agent to the test strip. So let's take a close look and see how each product performed. Wow, there's a lot of rust in our control. Without any sort of protection, metal is very prone to rusting. Compared to the control, fluid film did a terrific job. There's a very small amount of surface rust beginning up towards the top of the steel, but other than that, it looks really good. Candle wax actually looks fairly good on the surface. I'm going to go ahead and chip away some of this and see how it looks. Wow, there's a lot of rust that formed behind the candle wax. Unfortunately, it just did not do a very good job of providing protection. Looks like grease has done a great job of corrosion resistance. So what I'm going to do now is wipe off this grease and see if we can find any signs of rusting. A very important role for grease is corrosion prevention, and this grease has done a terrific job. The nickel graph appears to have done a really good job of preventing corrosion, but there might be some oxidation forming, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the nickel graph from the metal. No visible sign of corrosion. Loctite copper has definitely done a great job. I'm going to remove the anti-seize compound. Loctite definitely did a terrific job at blocking corrosion. The Permatex aluminum looks great as well. I'm going to go ahead and remove the anti-seize. No visible signs of corrosion with Permatex. We'll see if this anti-seize actually works as an engine oil replacement in this small engine. I'll be adding the anti-seize to this hole that I've cut into the side of the engine and then placing the see-through panel on top of the hole. All of the oil has already been drained out of this engine. Definitely plenty of anti-seize in this engine. Let's give this engine a run. The anti-seize W120 level is full. Well, the positive note, it did not seize. However, it sounds like it threw a rock. Let's tear this engine down and take a look inside to see exactly what happened. Wow, check that out. There's a lot of aluminum that's inside the combustion chamber. Obviously, it's gotten past the piston rings. Let's see if I can scrape some of this off. Wow, look at that. All right, we got quite a bit of flakies inside this engine. So there's no way this engine was going to seize. Unfortunately, the connecting rod just came apart. I'm going to take this back panel off and we'll see if we can find out what happened. Wow, still very hot in there. Let's see if I can push the piston out. Wow, the connecting rod just snapped. Obviously, quite a bit of scoring on this piston, but I suspect this damage was caused prior to using the anti-seize. this anti-seize became highly abrasive and tore up the connecting rod. Well, as it turns out, the bottom end of the connecting rod broke as well. You can see it's also badly bent. Anti-seize compound definitely does not make a good motor oil substitute, but the product did what it says it's supposed to do, and the engine did not seize. Actually, it did quite the opposite. It got a little too loose, and the engine came apart. But then the anti-seize product actually did a really good job at preventing corrosion. Even grease did a decent job, so if you're in a pinch and you have to use something, grease is definitely better than nothing. All my video ideas, including this one, come from viewers. So if you have a video idea, I hope you take time to leave a comment. I read and reply to as many comments as possible. Thanks so much for watching the video. Please take care, and I look forward to next time.
Cole, he's my miracle child. So how does your miracle child get cancer? How does that happen?
There was a mass. Basically,
Luke here with the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, and I'm in the Appalachian Mountains, and I'm doing frontier-style survival and bushcraft camping, and I'm bringing you along for the ride. All right, guys, time to go do some camping. Just saw a decent-sized black bear run in front of my car into the bushes. Well, welcome to the Appalachian Mountains of West Virginia. It's the first cool day of fall, and we're going to be doing some frontier-style hiking and camping. Tell you what, the weather is so deceptive today. It is absolutely gorgeous, but it's supposed to get down to 40 degrees tonight. And we got wind gusts of 15 miles per hour. It's gonna be cold. I'm gonna need a good shelter tonight. These leather straps are very functional, but they cut into your shoulder. We got a long ways to go. I think I better put some padding there. Oh, that feels worlds better. Oh, look at that, guys. That, my friends, is black bear poop. There's definitely black bears around here. Oh, that's pretty. I gotta cross this stream, but I don't want to get my feet wet.
Yeah!
Blisters bad. I think I might be able to hop across the stones upstream a little bit. Oh, I'm getting a little thirsty. In case you're wondering, it's just water. Just water. Oh. There it is. Aha!
Please?
You know, I'm not sure what berry this is.
Yeah!
I'll look it up when I get home.
Ah!
Yellow gooey flesh with about half a dozen big seeds. Oh, look at that. Oh, they didn't like me sticking my camera in there. If I was in a survival situation, I could knock that nest down, run like the devil, and come back the next day or like 12 hours. The wasp will abandon the nest, and then you can pick out all the pupas. I've never eaten wasp larvae before, but I've destroyed my fair share of wasp nests. And a nest that size could have a larva in it. A lot of mushrooms in these mountains, but the spring and fall in these mountains is a great time to find mushrooms. But I just don't know mushrooms that well. I know morels, chanterelles, puffballs, chicken of the woods, and that's about it. Ooh, look at that. There's like a 1.5 foot deep pile of leaves here. It is really luxurious. Oh, this is pretty nice. Oh, this is a tough call. This is about 2 hours and 2 miles before I was going to start looking for a campsite. But this is pretty awesome. There's such an enormous pile of dry leaves here. It's really soft. And with this rock acting as a heat reflector, if I built a campfire here, I'd be so warm. I need to eat some lunch while I think about this. Got some cheese and dried dates. Love it. I always bring way too much food on these campouts. Like, going to bed hungry is not an option for me. I love my water flask. Took some doing to get it 100% watertight, but hasn't dropped a drip all day. I know it's a risk, but I want to go find a different campsite. As comfy as this would be, I really would like some place a little closer to some water. All right. Here's another campsite that wouldn't be too bad. It's flat, dry, sheltered, and no water. This is weird. This looks like the remnants of an underground forest fire. All the trees over here look like they've been burned below the soil line, but only below the soil line. Looks like the roots have been burned, but the tree's still alive. I mean, that's charcoal right there. I've heard about forest fires smoldering underground. That's weird looking. Hey, look what I found. I think that's somebody's pepper spray. I'm just getting coated in spider webs. Oh, that was a big one. There's another one. Oh, there's another one. Every 3-4 feet I'm going through a spider web. Hold this stick out in front of you and let it clear out all the spider webs. Yeah. That was deeper than I looked. Yeah. I'm starting to wonder whether passing up on that last campsite was a good idea. A lot of putrid water and swampy ground here. See how brown this water is? Just means it's full of tannin, which is a chemical that leaches out of decomposing leaves. I'm not 100% sure what vegetation is responsible for the tannin, but often where I see rhododendrons, I'll often see brown water like this. Here, check out all this moss here. Pull this up. Yeah, it's clean drinking water right there. Tastes super earthy, but it's clean. Well, I'd hope to have a campsite by now. Well, there's a little stream. Wow. See all the bubbles? You gotta get that frothiness whenever you get a lot of tannin in the water. Oh. Well, look at this spot. I just realized I'm really tired. Even though it looks pretty flat, it's not. There's some pretty big rocks underneath the leaves. So I'm gonna see if I can't move some rocks around and make this a little bit more level. Oh. think this is gonna work. Well, I think what I need to do next is pile up as many dry leaves as I can, and I need to clear out a spot for my fire and make a little fire pit and a heat reflector for the fire. When you're building a fire like this, safety is a pretty big issue, and I don't want to start a forest fire. So there's a couple things I got going for me. First off, it's really wet right here under the ledge. There's all these drips coming off the edge of the rock, so it's perpetually wetting this section here. So a fire is not likely to spread. If I build a modest fire and keep an eye on it, this should be okay. Well, I want to cook 2 meals, boil a bunch of water, and stay warm tonight. So I'm gonna need a ton of wood. Oh, most of the stuff on the ground is so soggy. Alright, well that's not a huge pile of wood, but it's enough to get me started. There you go, you can see how much tannin's in there. The tannin doesn't make it unsafe to drink, it just makes it taste funny. But you still have to boil it in case there's bacteria in there. Alright, now we need some tinder. That is ultra thin, ultra dry pine. That's what we want. Alright, here's my fire kit. I got a piece of steel, a piece of flint, some shredded up jute, and a char cloth. I'm going to put this inside that jute. I'm sticking too much wood on top of the fire and it's causing all this smoke because it's smothering the fire. But I'm doing it because all the wood's damp and I want it to dry out. Almost all this wood is wet, so I'm just stacking it up here in the fire ring to dry it out. Even though I'm using frontier style equipment on this trip, I've got a few modern things with me. I've got my Garmin InReach Mini, so I can send and receive text messages and my wife can track my location. It's good for safety. I also have a headlamp because I need to be able to film at night. I also have about 2 or 3 pounds of GoPro batteries, backup cameras, and GoPro mounts in my bag. This water is going to be clean, but it's going to have a bit of a funny taste. So I brought this. It's for making tea. You unscrew it. You just put a little loose leaf tea in there. You can harvest berries and herbs that you find along the way, put it in there, make tea out of it. And in this case, I've got a peach lemon herbal tea in there. Those of you guys who watch my channel might recognize my mug. I made this out of cow horn a couple years ago, did a video on it. My tea steeper hooked around the handle there. Just let that steep for about 5 minutes or so. Just sit that over there. This is salted fatback bacon. Lasts a long time even without refrigeration, so you can carry it around in your pack. Makes great seasoning and stew. I'm gonna put my potatoes in there. Throw that meat in there. Between the grease and all the seasoning on the fatback, it's gonna give a lot of flavor to this stew. Got some carrots there. All right, got some bulb onions here. Got a bundle of chives here. Little soups and stews like this are pretty awesome because pretty much anything you find that you can eat, you can throw in the stew. Whether it's a squirrel or some herbs or a mushroom or whatever. I always bring way too much food and I brought along some beef jerky. And you can throw that in your stew too. It has lots of flavor, lots of protein. Alright, it's coming along pretty good. Needs a few more minutes. Got some raw sugar for my tea here. I'm a little bit cold, tired, and thirsty, and this tea just hits the spot. Tastes even better when you drink it out of a cow horn mug you made yourself. While I wait for my soup to simmer, I think I'm gonna go get some more firewood. It's gonna be really cold tonight. I like the soup, it's tasting good. And just a little pinch of flour. Oh, that stew smells amazing. Looks perfect. You can smell the chives and the onions and the bacon fat. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, I can see my breath. But this stew is hitting the spot. I'm just gonna boil up some water and fill up my canteen and have some water ready for the morning. For those of you who watch my videos, you won't be surprised. I brought a little bag of flour here to make some bread. I'm gonna be doing that in the morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my yeast and water and get it ready so it can rise overnight. Then I add my sugar. Then I add some whole wheat bread flour. My bag has a ton of holes in it. Okay. Let's just let that sit and rise till morning. Time to get ready for bed. I'm just gonna hang out here by the fire before I go to sleep. But notice I folded the blanket over. I've done this so that the inside layer won't get covered in leaves, and that's the layer I'm gonna wrap around myself so I don't get poked by leaves at night. These blankets just attract leaves like crazy. I think it's time to go to bed. I'm gonna go and put my blanket on this nice pile of leaves here and try to get some sleep. Having a fire under this outcropping is making such a huge difference. It feels a good 10 degrees warmer here. But it's late and I need to get going to bed. I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. It's early and I do not want to get up, but it's cold and the fire's going out. That's much nicer. I need to cook up some breakfast. I'll tell you what, it's getting warmer than I expected, but man, that ground was hard. So for breakfast, I've got seasoned pork jowl, and I got this lump of dough, and I got some honey and butter to put on it. We're gonna oil up this rock. Just gonna take this whole slab of pork jowls and just lay it right there on the rock. There we go. Some butter on this. A little honey and butter on fried flatbread. Man, it's hard to beat. And a nice piece of pork jowl bacon.
Today we're unboxing Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear. Wow! These beauty edges tear so much better than ordinary squares. And it's way softer. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear? Yeah.
This isn't your average Rust adventure. This is an odyssey. Over the next 2 weeks, I will be taking you guys through an absolute behemoth of a journey. Triumph and defeat, glory and heartbreak. I hope you're comfortable because this is the true Rust experience. And it all started with a new friend. Her Hello.
Yo, it's good.
I don't know about you, but I'm down for the snow.
Oh, it looks dangerous, man.
Life's gonna be a movie. This was Spinky, a professional Rust builder who, if you've been following my channel a while, might even recognize as I've used some of his bases in previous adventures. Except what you won't know is that Spinky's a little more than just a builder. Are you ready?
Let's get going. My game full crashed already, so.
Nice. Spinky is actually a jack of all trades. See, not only have I brought him on to build us an epic and impenetrable base, well, let's just say he has some other skills too. Skills that, when surviving on a 1,000 player vanilla official Rust server, might come in handy. So, now that you've met the team, fresh wipe, let's begin.
Actually, good spawn for snow I got.
I did not. Do I just F1 kill? I'm top right. I might just F1 and respawn. Oh, I spawned C9. Nice. Alright, I'm ready.
You coming up the hill right now?
Yeah, I'm jumping up the hill, getting chased by a random guy shouting at me though.
Oh yeah.
I think I see you. Yeah. Hello! That was fast. We like that. Oh.
No, we failed it, bro.
We did. Wait, no, I quit the team. Oh no.
Now there's 10 health for that interaction.
We're just not in sync, man. That's my bad. We had met up and joined the team. Our aim was to head for the deep snow. However, no doubt infested with clans, we would need to come fully prepared before entering the snow itself if we wanted a chance of surviving. So we had a plan, albeit a little unusual. We decided to head first into the jungle. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
One of us might be about to bite the bullet.
40k.
Yeah, oh, maybe not enough. Okay, we're good. Chasing. And I got 20 cloth, we're up. Oh, player with burlap.
Full burlap.
Nothing else, bro. This guy's crazy.
Priorities,
He doesn't give a shit. Doesn't care about the boat.
100 cloth.
Literally, yeah. At least he's got the drip. Oh, sniped him.
Too easy, bro.
Hell yeah. Now, why exactly had we come to the jungle? Well, on a 1,000 player server, just moments after a frostbite, the jungle is the only biome quiet enough to gather resources safely. But that wasn't all, because it also offered one very unique tool.
Your cloth?
Oh, throw it at it. If I can find it. Oh, there it is. Oh, that blends in.
Yeah.
You are not finding that. Ooh, cloth. Oh my gosh.
Okay, there we go. That's
in my
enough.
face, yeah.
You got it.
We're sorted.
That'll do.
2 bows. Ooh, player on me on the road. Just going to this barrel pot.
Right, 2 bowmen now. This next water one, see if it's even.
Yeah, this guy's dead. What's he got? Ooh, not bad. Kind of juice. He's been farming the road, 60 scrap right there. See, the jungle being so harsh and primitive, most players wouldn't even think about stepping foot there so early into wipe. But for us, it was perfect. Oh my gosh, all this cloth. Literally nowhere else on this island would be this.
You're finding that as those are fishes.
Yeah, I've got ESP, not for fighting, just for finding cloth. After gathering some more cloth, we approached the second reason we had come to the jungle.
Okay, this guy's dead. I think he'll respawn fast on Hypo, but we should.
Oh, someone killed it.
Yeah. I'm gonna assume that.
Unfortunately, the water well vendor wouldn't be accessible for a little while. In the meantime, we would have to continue to gather what we could. Oh, fuck! Tiger dragging the body over here. But we should kill this. That would be really nice. Nice.
Big cat meat. Alright, should we see if this guy's respawned? And if
Yep, let's do it. I have a lot of cloth on me, do you need it?
Nah.
Oh, play. Good. Bone on.
Alright.
I just folded you. Oh no. Oh no. He's gonna kill me. Not like this. I think I'm okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I just killed you. Oh my god, that was tragic. I'm just backing up. I'm not risking losing everything here. That would be awful. Tragedy, man.
Oh, that's fun for the boots.
Nah, that won't be going in the video. Don't worry. I'll be trying that out. Don't worry, man. I'll carry the PvP Boy, you're so good. You're just here to build.
One headshot each, bro.
Oh, he's on me, he's on me. I missed. Bro, I can't see this guy in these jungle trees, man. The armor's so talented. Hit him. Oh, he's running, I've got him. Move, boy.
How you egg?
There we go. Oh, he's dead. Nice. Hey, don't even worry about it, man. I recovered it. Almost fumbled the whole way. There we go. After the slightly unfortunate event, we had regrouped and recovered. Night was fast approaching. Still waiting for the vendor to respawn, we had no idea how much danger we were in. Wait, they're on me. I don't know, but I 100% heard someone on me. Or if I get DD'd.
Right next to us.
Oh, yeah.
He's hiding behind the tree, dude.
Oh, goodness. Close to now. Yeah, dead. Uh-oh. Oh, this guy's loaded. This guy's actually loaded.
This guy's crossover.
I'm trying to do what I can. Oh my god, there's so much. Please don't hit me, Alright, I'm out. What? Oh, you're 20? Oh no, I didn't know you were low.
Yeah, I just kind of went for me.
Oh god. This guy wants us. Oh my gosh, the jungle looks incredible with the sunset. And I got some binos, let me see what's going on back there.
Will that help?
I see a couple. Binos are actually kind of cool in the jungle. You can see the little grey dots above their head. Ah, crocodile! It did not see the crocodile though. Wait. Who's
crossing right here, bro?
Bro, is that... What the fuck? That was the crossy shouting? Wait, he's up a tree! He's up the tree on me! Oh, run. I'm here. He's in the other tree.
He dropped down, bro. Hit me.
Nice.
He's a fucking handmade SMG, bro.
Good stuff.
As the nighttime comes, this gets less and less of an enjoyable place.
You're not wrong. This is terrifying now. Can't see anything. Oh my god, the sunset is so different now. What? Wow, it has just got very dark very quickly.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do whatever you want.
Nighttime now fully set in. We had survived the whole day in the jungle. But had it been worth it?
He's alive.
He's alive?
Drop this was.
Oh, nice. You know what? I'm buying meds. I'm buying syringes. 100%. 10 scrap, 2 syringes. That's a steal. No guns. But hey, we got pistol ammo. That's big. Gearing ourselves up with syringes and now equipped with pistol ammo for Spinky's new handmade SMG, we were as ready as we could ever hope to be to enter into the snow. First, however, we had to actually get there.
Okay, let's get our ass to build spot then while it's night, I guess, to have a little bit of lubricant for training.
Let's do it. There was a reason we had taken so much precaution before heading into the snow, and it was this. The snow was stacked. Launch site, power plant, Arctic base, HQM quarry, and oil rig, all within a few grids of each other. And that was where we were heading today. As just a duo, we would be competing with the largest, most competitive clans on the entire server. Oh, he's got some stuff. Wait, sorry. They want? I can't see anything now.
They're loaded and can't see them. You gotta look at them all.
Wait, they're all dead? What?
There was 3, I don't know. 2 dead.
But you killed 2 with that. Oh, I see. One run. Okay, I think the first one kept going.
Right next to us, a good guy. 2. Running right towards us.
And the one on the right? All better. Nice. Gosh, going crazy. Shit.
We aren't looking too bad if we can just get there
If
before
we can just get there and get, yeah. I think it's gonna time day before that though. I love what Rust have done with the colours. The sky just looks so cool.
I'm getting scared. I'm not just big baseline E20.
E20.
We've been alive for rather a long time, and we're so due.
We do have a lot. Wait, E20. Wait, you think we're gonna be able to get that ice lake? That's no way we're getting that ice lake.
I didn't even see that, was gonna say.
Yeah, no, maybe not. Oh my gosh, the sky. The feel like I'm on an adventure. But no, I agree. I think let's park up sooner. Unless we go maybe north side of the launch and get a base down like our side, so we don't have to cross over any monuments. Because I don't really want to go over.
I bet you over here.
Nice. I don't want to have to go past any monuments now. I think it's too risky. I don't want to drop my rug, but I may have to. I've got so much stuff.
Big loss.
We had finally made it to the snow, but now both full inventories. Without a base, we were at risk of losing everything. We had to find the right location to build, and fast. Two players on our left, careful, up ahead.
They're doing a polar bear actually. The one?
Wait, he's getting munched as well. Nice. Yeah, he's low. Yeah, let's keep him. The other guy's farming a node. They're building them. Nice. Nice. Can't hit this guy. Head peek is nasty. Wait, he's run out of arrows, Got him. Right, let's go fast. That SMG would attract some people. Oh, quite a lot of loot. Okay, we gotta get the fuck out of here, man. That'll do. Let's go.
Go. It's not so flat.
Maybe I-21. Yeah, what about little I-21 up ahead? This could be good. After fighting our way across the entire map, opening up before us was our sanctuary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is perfect. No bases, looks flat. I like this a lot. We got trees, we got cover, we're in the middle of everything. This is big.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
Oh, thank God, let's build.
Actually, we don't have a map, right?
No, we don't. Can you probably
Make that single economic door.
Yeah, look up.
You go lock that door.
Okay. By the way, I will be judging you heavily on your choice of door skin as a pro builder.
You can have the cancer for serious again.
No, I'm not gonna be
It's
cancelled.
on default right now.
Oh, how can you be a builder and use default skins?
I don't know. I do have singular skins. I think something.
That's crazy.
I mean, versus, come on.
Yeah, we can make furnaces. You got what's around with that now?
You want to do that too? Have you got a skin in mind?
No. I trust your judgment. I'll let you do furnace skin. I'm doing small boxes.
You've got a 44 dancings along the way.
Yeah, man. That's
I
right.
do.
I do. Hey, I always have plans for hemp seeds, but oh, so many trains passing by. Nah, that might be one of the most disgusting choice of sleeping bag skins I've ever seen in my life. What are you doing?
They apologize.
That's crazy work from a pro builder. What? Come on, man. Out of all of the bag skins to choose from, you go for the Christmas light.
Only the Twitch drops to choose from on the sleeping bag. Or I have a Santa bag as well. It's the Twitchness. Yeah, it is. These are all Twitch drops.
Why can't you stay organised? I've experienced this myself, and it's called chronic impulse control, where you prioritise short-term actions like gaming and social media until it's the end of the workday, and you still haven't gotten anything done. And I've wasted a day prioritising my short-term pleasures over my long-term goals. So let me show you how I solved that. See, this isn't like any other tool. After using it, I had the most productive month of my life. Oh, sorry, that's my impulse control. But thanks to this tool, I am now in control of my impulsive ideas. All I have to do is brain dump my to-do list, add my deadlines and how long it will all take, and Motion takes care of the rest. I basically just wake up and do what Motion tells me, and so should you. Literally last Monday I spent 10 minutes setting it up, but in that first week alone I gained 11 hours in missed productivity gains. So try out Motion and unlock your dream life.
So, with the base down, we had moved into the humble 2. Even the best bases can come from the simplest of starters. However, we were far from secure. There was a lot of work to be done.
There's a solo hazmat building in neighborhood.
Coming.
He's going in the shack.
He's in a shack. Do you want to just hold him down? I could honestly get some tools right now and we could raid it. I love a good fresh wipe shack raid, always worth. Just moments after building and already players were trying to move into our area. we of course would try our best to stop them. Wait, he's got 3 boxes in there? What the? Okay, we're in the money. This is gonna be money. We are nearly there. We in?
We in, so.
Wanna come have a look? Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, yeah. That's worth. That is very worth.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nice, and one less player to deal with.
Not good enough, bro. This poor guy was busy following a building tutorial, bro.
Yes, he was. Oh, why is his starter so big? What's he doing?
Doing all that, just have a frame inside the PC room.
Definitely wasn't watching a Slinky video.
Get rid of the basement, you push that out.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be having some neighbours.
Farm boxes are full.
Yeah, we have a lot of farm already. Oh my gosh, I have 2 rows of farm on me too. Need more storage.
Be able to get some barrels going now.
Yep, on it.
Oh, what barrel skin is he going to select?
Are you a wicker barrel? Are you a normal barrel? Or are you a abyss barrel?
Or abyss barrel.
Yeah. I was about to say, Richie, I'm dabbling with the abyss barrels.
I'm watching my own YouTube video here, look it up, just memorize.
Fuck's sake. Our farm boxes were full, furnaces were now going, and it wouldn't be long before we'd be able to secure our base up a little bit with some metal doors. However, there was a problem. See, it wasn't just that we were playing on a 1,000 pop vanilla official server, we also had no blueprints, while everyone else would. On top of everything else, we were going to need a lot of scrap.
Oh yeah.
Alright, you know what, I like where we are. I think this is a really solid location. Few grids from launch site, supermarket.
We do have a nice collection of components. Honestly, abandoned supermarket is something we could possibly go. I was gonna grab the prog for a cloth, but no.
Absolutely not, you are. That's my right.
Actually.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
not got DB. Hit him. 2, 2, 2. 3. Yep. Do we win?
I don't know.
Hit another one. Him again. I'm the dog. I hit nail gun twice.
Dead.
Nice.
No, the DB just no damage for me. It's 2 left, bro. They are low. This DB isn't working anymore.
Almost back. No one. Hit one. One down. One down. He's running. He's working it. Hit him. I got that though. Hit me with the crossy. I'm low. 1 HP though. Here, Thompson's a supermarket, but this guy is full running. He doesn't want to fight. Fuck, he's out. I can't catch him. I'm losing his teammates. I got the SMG back. Yeah, he's dead.
Out of there quick, bro.
Well, at least we didn't lose anything. We scared him off.
It's a bit, I don't know.
That is some ghosted tier 1 placement right there. I fucked with it.
There was nowhere else for that to go. Yeah, that is not my
I'm not judging about it, right? Hey, you're the pro builder, man. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah, that's mad, bro. Everyone's doing that now.
Groups were clearly beginning to move into the area. Knowing how much scrap we would need this wipe, we wanted to investigate the nearby supermarket to get a gauge for how chaotic it might be and whether we could use it to recycle.
It's dead.
Oh, train coming. Hit him. Well, that guy was scared. 2, no, they're not jumping. EB in the back. Damn.
We'll let him have it.
Yeah, we'll let him off the stuff. This mist is so oppressive. I like the vibe it gives, but oh my gosh, when people are roaming full whiteout AKs down the line, I don't know how this is going to be playable. Not going to be able to see anyone.
Nobody kill us, please.
Please, let us get this recycling home. Good thing is, it should be harder for other people to see us. Maybe not get roof camped as much.
It's just called for a while.
Oh really, recycling that much?
We have a lot of cloth components, to be fair. Tactical sewing kits do not recycle quick.
Wait, another guy close. Common barrels.
Yeah, close.
Spear. Ooh, stars. Wait, more guys. Scar recycle. It's gonna try to slow us up.
Recycle.
I am scared about that star.
area, bro.
I might just let the cloth finish and put the sheet in front, and then we just head a bit early. I don't even need to recycle everything. Not worth it.
Yeah, I don't want to start to start.
That cloth is actually so much more important than anything else right now, so definitely want to get that back. Right, let's go. Uh-oh. Oh my god, I'm on the track as that train's coming. Please don't jump off and ape me. Okay, we're good.
Haircut, bro. Promise.
Alright, big run. Wow, that is money.
Yeah.
We got our cloth, a little bit of scrap. It's a beautiful start. You know the boss, we just get this fucking tier 1 out of the way too.
Yeah, I'm so good.
Am I good to put frame in the middle here?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Good shot.
With loot flowing into the base, and on such a dangerous server, it's essential to continue upgrading and expanding as you go. What are we cooking? Oh wow, he's really pushing the boat out with this 2x1 design, isn't he?
We are getting pretty technical here. A lot of stuff you ain't seen before.
I mean, I was gonna say, this is crazy unique. I don't know where you built it. Still with the single door frame, lovely. Yeah, no, I also love just voluntarily nerfing the strength of my base with single doors.
Guys, yours is so slow, but that's why I'm thinking on my way, bro.
True, true. We're thinking about a different perspective. Yeah, no, I actually prefer open plan entirely. Just don't place any doors because it's just faster to get around if it's all open.
Yeah, I do. I like areas like that. I'm not gonna lie, there's a few areas in my base where I'll just place a half wall and it's better to play off of. And not have a door there.
Nah, you're crazy.
But it is good for like forcing a stance by people who are not confident with it.
It's actually such an insane perspective that I've never even thought about, but makes so much sense. I feel like you're one of the only builders who's also so good at PvP that you think about things that other builders won't.
There we go. Look at that.
I must say, my favourite part so far is the overhang. I love the way that looks on the outside of the base.
Yeah, whenever we want to build bunker, though, we have to break it. So it's an issue.
I see.
We have what that can do. Oh, he's not even using the new code box skin either.
What? There's a code lock skin.
Oh, keep up. What?
There's a code lock skin?
Yeah.
How do I? Can I spray can that?
I actually don't know.
I can. Oh my god! What? Since when is there a code lock skin? Oh my god.
Yeah.
My bad. You are the pro builder. Oh wait, there's the new small box as well. Oh my god.
Oh, they did it on that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. So look down on the floor though. Is that not the coolest floor paper you've ever seen?
I can't. This is the earliest I've ever had wallpaper in Rust. I'm not gonna lie. This is like day 5 of a fucking group life.
I'm not gonna lie. Even if I've only got like 50 cloth in my whole TC, I'm still getting that wallpaper down. That shit is coming out straight away.
This is crazy weird. Now we're looking nice.
It was our first night time in the new home, and while I got to work on the most essential aspects of the base, Spinky got to work building.
Taking all the tips here, candle hats on. I'm not walking anyone through
I
anything.
just saw the candle hat on. I was actually very impressed that you took my, acted upon my advice.
Yeah.
Respectful. New code looks just weird in my inventory.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about like skinning these like.
The specific camera I
things
have
you have in mind, you know, like,
is
if I just had a code lock in that raid, I could have fucking sealed, bro.
JVC.
Yeah, meanwhile it was in your hotbar the whole time.
Yeah.
PZ200N. Period. Device type F37.J2 with a webware version of 1.5.5 and a software version of SOCV1.1.30-ARM 6.0.98 SJVC.
It is it's looking pretty nice in there now, man. Feeling cozy.
Now there are some cool stuff, but it's just like down the line, you know? Because it's perfect 2x1 expansion, which means you gotta start from everyone's
Hey
standing.
man, I look forward to it. We just gotta make sure we get to that point, survive long enough.
Oh my god, is this the £8,000 dollar?
No, it just looks like it.
Oh, it's
It's like $2.
I was getting flexed on there. Isn't it?
Wait, but ask me again so I can pretend that it's expensive while on my video.
Oh my god, is that the expensive door, bro?
Yeah, it is. It is, man. Yeah. I have a few.
Stop giving me settings that don't exist.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete...
The base had been upgraded and was now a little more secure. After the successful recycler supermarket, we were now ready for more. With no blueprints, more than anything, what we needed now was to get our hands on some weapons. It was time, therefore, for us to go to the launch site. This base is so goofy looking right now. I'm looking forward to see how it turns out, though. I know it's all for a reason. Wow, I did not realize you could build that close to launch. Is it just me, or does that base look really close?
This backside you can, yeah. It's
Ah, I
probably
see.
they just came out with the key. You go. He's running left.
Just
He's
a
big
tool,
hands
man.
from the metal.
Yeah.
No weapon for sure. Give it all. Oh, bro, just look, you got a mixing table. It's kind of like a BP that we should like have and go back with.
Yeah, you're right. That is big. Yes, we have. Oh, I just got a bear rug. Okay, we're definitely going home. All right.
That's the decider.
Yeah, that's the decider.
No great for life though.
Damn, we got a mixing table, low wall, and a bear rug. What a run that was. Didn't even make it to launch. Okay, now it was actually time to go to the launch site. Oh, there's someone on Recycler actually. Top of the building.
Yeah, I got on triple salad too, right in front of me.
Okay. Oh.
So the dials in the
Did you
back
just get-
change the
No, he's lying.
output?
Oh,
Question
two
mark?
guys on me. Behind.
Mind you too, I'm also streaming from this
One is very
to
low.
a computer via Ethernet.
Okay, I killed this guy. Nice. Bradley's in such an awkward spot right now. That was a shield on top of Mammoth.
More farm, bro. Fucking hell,
Bro.
Hey,
I missed two.
shooting on this. Quite a lot.
So what number do I need to put it on, and what do all the numbers do?
My. You don't have much space. Let's see how we're looking.
How we're looking.
Not bad.
How we're looking, bro, yeah.
That was a good launch site run. So glad the spotlight made it home too.
That'll be going on the base, yeah. That's a feature.
Hell yeah.
That's a feature.
I love that.
Here you are, big gift.
Oh, you're a hero. Too kind. With no other blueprints, we had decided that our best chance of getting our hands on a better weapon was by researching the tier 1 SMG we had and crafting more. Sometimes in Rust, you've got to use whatever's at your disposal. Both armed, we headed back into launch. This guy's hiding. What? How did I just miss that? What am I doing? Hiding behind the bus. Am I? What am I doing, man? I'm missing some bad crossbow shots. Oh,
Yeah.
someone above me on the silo. Wait, he's also got the tier 1 SMG guns.
I think she's
Yeah.
out. Thanks, lads.
Nice. Oh, he's still up there. He did. That's so annoying. Bradley is just stuck watching. Wait, this guy behind silo?
Single side of the triple.
Triple. The one furthest right.
Yeah, see, there's a weapon, I think. Cross it.
Yeah, good. Thompson.
Only Tom. Teenage triple side level. The other guy might be going tower or something.
Yeah, I'm looking towards green. I feel like he might flank that way. Bradley is literally just full start.
Get it, Tommy, bro. I don't know where the fuck he's going.
But he's on green card, on top. I'm in a good spot. Could be able to pop him in a sec.
On top now. He just took a hit there, though. He's running back.
Oh, that's not good timing. No, I was actually about to get him.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's quite annoying. Yeah.
Oh, I think he just killed Tommy up here.
Yeah.
This is big. Just key, I think, from where you are. Someone's dead already, too. I think they're killing each other.
He's jumping up to you, Kev.
Yeah, I see him. I cooked him 5 times.
He's on the wall down here, I think. Nice.
Once more. I'm in from there.
Him twice. Dead.
Bow on our left. Hit him 3 times. Bro, he's 1 HP. Wait, no, tell me.
There's a second Tom on there too.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Nah, I didn't either. Bro. This Revy guy's insane. Oh, damn it.
In Albion, no matter where you go or what you do, your map will accompany you on your journey. Perhaps you might be a merchant's best friend. It can carry anything you throw at it. Anything. Maybe not that. But a fierce armored horse. It doesn't mind riding even into certain death. And in case you want to cosplay as the ultimate edgelord, we got just the right mount for you. Perhaps you prefer a more peaceful one, that of a gathering. This deer will help you haul your resources. Just look at these strong legs. If you're fortunate enough to encounter this beast, honestly, just run. Or go with a cat like everyone else. It's cute, I get it. Whatever your style or what you do in the game, Albion Online has the right companion for you.
Who did you get?
With the Thompson in Spinky's hand before dying, we had come close. But unfortunately, the opportunity was gone. Maybe we should set our sights on something a little closer. Oh, are they at the train?
They were,
Oh, yeah, I see, I see.
away now, I don't know if they want
Yeah, they are, they're holding from quite far. They don't want it.
I have an SUV on me, so we can buy it.
I just have a bow right now, I just ran out with what I have. Wow, you just hit me.
There's one on the train, Kev.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, yeah, I see. Hit the Arctic.
Hit the other one.
Nice. Arctic's headshot dead.
That's good.
Just the one on you.
Yeah, I did it. It's the hero that just moved in next to us.
I see. Came back
I got a
with
DVR.
sword.
I think they're full grown now, they have one dog.
New neighbours.
If you want, but it's probably not.
We don't have any made it with, don't have any BPs.
Probably not.
No.
They're actually coming out, bro, with their last photos.
Alright. One dead.
Cool.
Very nice.
That should be the last of their live, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's good to
Crazy Rage, bro.
take them down, keep them low. P2.
Yeah, is he a bottom cover or is he too close left?
I think he's ground. Close left, no?
He could have gone.
Or maybe. No, close left, close left. Is he hard? Wait. How is he alive? What? Nice. Good job.
That one was just too good. That was a V2 though.
Huge. P2 is massive for us. This is it, man. Big.
Beautiful.
We need to get that shit researched right now.
V2, did you get it?
Nope, not yet. You got it? Got it.
Has he got us? Maybe we get shot.
Yeah.
He's on top of the balcony building.
Okay.
Up there.
You should take P2 because I am 10 health. There you go, sir. Oh, yeah, he's on me. Drop down. Got it. Yeah, GG.
Okay, to BP.
Yeah, big.
We got it. No more buying P2s or
Hell yeah. No need to buy P2s.
Maybe we can take the jack yet, once we have a few P2s crafted up.
From a bow to that very first tier 1 SMG. Researching it, and now using that to get our hands on the P250. We were slowly but surely working our way up. However, after spending scrap researching the gun, we now realized we didn't have enough for the Tier 2 workbench. We would need to pull off one more recycle at the supermarket first. Alright, I got some fuses, I got some sheet metal. If we get this recycled, then we have Tier 2. Where's he going? He's running. Where do you think he was gonna go?
Oh my god, that's a win.
Nice. Yeah, yeah.
Bodies too.
Oh, someone leaving right now. No, he doesn't know. I missed. What am I doing with my crossbow today? He's very low. Oh, we're getting keyed by 4 people. I think we fight. I think we fight. I have DB. Fuck it.
Okay.
I'm double back.
Oh, I'm gonna get in the fucking monument.
Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. Here we go. Alright, one fight, tag out, I'm going in. No, what? Okay, he's down, he's down.
Bro, how did my first shot not kill him?
Pushed him behind me. One's down.
You do that? I'm just playing tank.
Yeah.
There's a DB run right at the front. Okay.
Okay. I'm back in. Nice. Another one on the outside? Yep. I should get him. Dead. Oh, loaded. They were coming to recycle so much. Yeah, they have tons. Great comps. Do we just run? Do we recycle? Yeah, let's go. Oh my gosh.
You did everything in
used. I think we should just try and run. They're gonna start coming back. Oh fuck! No, I'm running. Come on, please. I have to make it out. Come on.
No, I got slugged. There's a bow in front of me. Oh,
I'm dead now.
bro.
I think I would have lived. I think I could have run. But I got hit by DB and then our neighbor bowed me. Oh, fuck.
Scribe is how you stop explaining the same thing over and over at work. Watch this. It'll change your life. Raise your hand if you told your boss how to do the same thing more than once. Thought so. That's why there's Scribe. Go to scribehow.com. Click Capture, do the task once, and Scribe will create a step-by-step guide you can share automatically. You ever watch someone through a giant process and know they'll forget half of it? Scribe puts everything they need to know. Instructions, pictures, videos, all on one page. So the next time they ask, you can just send a link. I know what you're thinking. They still click the wrong thing half the time. Check this out. Scribe will literally guide them through it click by click. Warning. They're gonna think you're a genius and ask you how you did it. Just say Scribe. Scribe instantly turns any workflow into a step-by-step guide, so you never have to explain it again. Go to scribehow.com and try it for free. You don't even need a credit card.
We had come so close to making it out with everything. Had we left a few seconds earlier, and we would have survived. But such is Beast. Wow, we actually have a lot of resources. But space is going to be pretty big, and it's going to take a lot to upgrade it all. So we got plenty more to do. Yeah, get a nice little that not the best decor you've ever seen? That is so sick. Double barrel on the ceiling. I love that. So we'll get the core at least up to sheet for now. Although I believe this will not be our core for too long. Because I'm pretty sure our main core is going to be up on the 3rd or the 4th floor by no spinky spaces. Spinky's going to be so confused when he comes back and sees what I've done with our windows. We got the AC. It wasn't long before Spinky returned and it was back to work. We still needed that tier 2. Gearing up with whatever we had, we were on our way to the supermarket for that last bit of scrap when a fight broke out nearby. I'm actually so excited to use this new P2 skin when we get the tier 2.
Nah, it is same bar, bro. On the 2x2.
Oh yes, you see the guy on there. Oh yeah.
Isn't it there?
No.
Just see moving.
No. Shooting him.
They live
He's
there.
missing.
Another one there.
They are missing everything. I don't know, I'm full health. There's one quite close on your right at the base. He's pushing up. What one's pushing back up? Oh, it's four.
One probably dead.
Hit the zombie pushing you.
Sorry, dead. I killed one on the hill, no. Got it. I'm 1 HP. Please don't get him. Please don't get him. I'm missing.
Hit him?
He's a guy on me, yeah. I don't see this guy tall. Bad.
Nice. Let's go. This guy behind. Oh, he's got a shotgun. Just run. Keep running. Don't turn around. I cannot see. Oh my god, it's terrifying. They're all chasing. I can just hear his feet.
Wow, it's coming.
Oh, there's more.
You that close?
Yeah, they're all coming. There's one much closer than that. Literally right behind me. There, nice.
Go?
Yeah, we can go. Holy, well, we got ourselves a Thompson. Ooh, skin. Oh yeah. Even the sound as you pull it out.
Yeah, I like that. You got big sounds.
Ooh, the glow sight? Oh, this is so fun. This is such a cool iron sight. Let's reload. Oh, that's clean. I feel like I'm back on Call of Duty or something. Making it home, we're finally ready to craft up that workbench left too. Boom. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Double launcher. Wait, is that not the supermarket group?
Yeah,
The foreman that pushed us? I think that's them. I do not want to make enemies with those raiders. That's a lot of rockets to raid. We have once again evolved, and now both armed with tier 2 weapons, even though just a P2, it begins to take on fights that earlier were not possible. P2, jump off! Dead.
Go.
Yeah, you killed yours.
I killed the other one.
Nice, big. Oh my gosh, so much stone. This guy was kind of juiced. We'll go set up some basic power for now.
to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44. This is a first look at the current industry-leading AI app builder, and you wouldn't believe the kind of apps that people are creating. Smart nutrition apps, inventory trackers, onboarding tools, you name it. And if the only thing stopping me from making the app is the idea, why not build an app that gives me endless app ideas? So let's make it. Pro tip, I draft the full app spec in ChatGPT, and then I drop the prompt directly into Base 44. It gives me super detailed structure. And here it is. Everything I laid out in detail as it goes. This is pretty awesome, but I want to make it playful. So I'm going to add a swipe left and swipe right interface. The same usability we all know. Now I'm going to add one more feature. So every idea that I favorite will turn into a kickoff prompt to start building the app itself. And that's it. Just come up with your idea, any idea, and Base 44 will do the rest.
Hey, yo.
Just getting the essentials, man, you know me.
Yeah. See, in some ways we are ahead, because for me these would be like day 3 activities. So we're kind of ahead of the curve in some aspects. My god, fridge is up and running. Nice.
You're goddamn right. Oh, just getting ready right now.
You good?
Yeah, he's dead.
You like 3 there. Oh, I got shit for
Yep. That is a real gun. You know how many it is?
Yeah, they're on the quarry now. I don't think they're chasing.
While we had so far stayed under the radar with rocket raids going off nearby and AKs in our area, there were clearly some real threats nearby.
That guy is got back like he was farming to them. I reckon that Tommy's with them now.
Nah, that guy looks like he's miles away.
He is aiming.
Nah, they're not. Yeah. I'm crossing, fuck it. I think we're gambling if this guy doesn't see us. I think that's Jackie. Yes, and both. Oh, one more in front of me. Kill this guy. I think they live right here. There's a base here. These guys are probably gonna key me now.
Yeah, they're key. On double.
One's roof, fuck.
One dead. Good. Just met up.
One's dead. Ran out naked. I'm naked. Bro, they're throwing. They're timering themselves.
The naked to dead.
I'm going for this one.
It barely fucking moves.
E2. Yeah, this guy just started climbing.
We had hope.
Oh yeah? Quick little wipe.
I did the stuff. This income box would be able to grab.
As the nearby groups found themselves more established throughout the day, our area in the snow became a lot less safe.
Yeah, he's trying to get an angle.
Killed the P2. Oh, that seems to be running. Starts at the wall. Starts dead? No, he's 1 HP behind the wall. Oh, he's dead, nice. You good? Oh my gosh, I thought you were dead for sure. And it wasn't long before the true threats began to appear closer.
Right in front of us?
Oh! Yeah.
I'm bringing nice kids.
Yeah, I didn't even try and fight that. Like 6 of them.
Trouble.
That's a little concerning. They're right outside our front door. Oh man. Stealing our notes. Yes, seems like it. Our home in the forest that had once been a sanctuary quickly became carnage. With every win came a loss, and for hours, day of fighting in the snow, cloth supplies begin to run low pretty quickly.
Okay, we lose this. Not good.
How much cloth are we going to be able to recycle for?
This is a big hero cloth save.
Okay.
We can BP the Tommy too.
Yeah, nice. Because I think we have a good few SMG boys, don't we?
I'm running down the meds so much. I keep going to craft you, like I'm crafting extra meds to give them to you. And I never even get you, I get just some sort of altercation. I've used your fucking meds. So I'm just rolling double meds now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've not had meds for a little while.
Oh no.
I've got PTSD from getting pulled up on by those stars. I want to go, I want to get out of here. It was these last few pipes.
Don't worry.
Feels good. Alright.
Let's unpack how I gift like Santa. Wooden toys, just like a little black dress, they never go out of style. Oh look, I made a bridge. This is my favorite kind of block party. Toys that don't need 6 batteries. Thank me later.
Nothing is better than a partner that adds value. That's why Vanguard plans to save investors up to $350 million this year. We focus on what matters most. You.
Big dub. After all the battling around our home, we wanted to do some investigating and figure out just who the groups were constantly in our area. This time, instead of heading towards the launch site, we headed deeper into the snow, towards the Arctic base, where we suspected the larger clans resided.
Yeah, they're out there running somewhere right now. We could probably get a sneak on him.
Yeah, I'm
This
down,
man's so
I'm down.
rich, but
Fuck it, let's try it.
this is a 10-man now, like.
Only one way to find out.
Not seen us yet.
Wait, has he in the right zone? Do you see him?
In the best two.
Yeah, yeah.
Dead.
Bowling go. Dead. Oh, it's a lot. It is a lot. I hear all the steps in there. One more. Bro, I think the body. Is he dead? Oh, I shot the door. No way. Oh, he looted the body as well.
This one right here.
Oh, a stack of rope. Holy shit.
If you want to hold, I can start briefing and they'll come out for that.
Yeah, try it 100%. I only have a P2 here though. Thanks. Okay. Oh my god, the body's blocking all the bullets. I can't hit him.
You alive?
Yeah, I'm chilling on full HP. Another dead. No, I won't. They shut the door again. Yeah, I got the pump. Oh, this guy's kitted. Another dead. Another one dead. Oh, he shut the door! Fuck, I killed them both in there too. That was 2 kids, MPs. Damn. You managed to get your external down?
No, I did.
Nice. Oh yeah, we like to see that. Hey, we're good. They're not going to be happy with us. Briefing the first clan we came across, we weren't exactly making any friends, but we weren't done there.
Do a bit of a wide loop to get away from this.
Oh, I see that tower up there, yeah. That's not the big group's tower though, is it?
I think it is.
But I see windmills though, 110, I think the windmills would be the big clan.
No, I think they own the tower for Arctic and then
Oh, I see.
yeah, maybe this too.
Actually, I have binos. I want to get on the hill, just have a look, see their base. Oh yeah, that's the guys that have been doing the raiding. 100%, 15 large furnaces, a pretty large compound. AK is outside of the base right now. They're finding someone else.
Yeah.
That AK is looking like such a lick right now. He's getting pushed by 2 Tommies though. 2 or 3, damn. He might die here actually, might be 2. I'm confused about who's the base owner and why they're not roof camping me. I would expect one on the roof. Seems like no one's in the base, which makes me you kind of want to. I'm not gonna lie, bro. This actually looks counterable. Unironically, I think we could push for this. He's just dropped one of them, bro. I don't know. Either there's none of them on, or that I genuinely think this is playable.